I just want to share with you a little quick video, Alistair. We can just see just some little quick step-by-step things that we did. So all he saw was books. That's all he had as references, just books of these beautiful dolls that I'm obsessed with. And we told him how big we'd want it, sort of roughly how big. So he had to make the molds. He had to make the mold to make the mold, if that makes sense. Then he made the fiberglass, poured the fiberglass into them, and then that's how they were. Now, they were both gorgeous, both Alistair and Govinda. I insisted on being a part of every step because I wanted to make these babies, as we called them, our Poppets. So I wanted to be involved in everything that the dancers were prepared to do. So they're wearing motocross braces to hold the weight of the head. So I wanted to put it on and wear it and see how it felt and feel the weight. This was a prototype doll that he gave me after he made the mold, so we could then make the wig. So we had to make the scalps. Now, Bryn, you've got a little thing there, haven't you, darling? The scalps were the tapestry. This was the eyes being made. Each Poppet had, I was really insistent that they had individual personalities. So they've all got, I'll go all through with them one by one in a sec, but they've all got individual personalities. So their eye colour, their skin colour, and of course the hair all had to be individual. That's why we placed their eyes different, bit of attitude with some of them, you know, it was real good fun. We had fun anyway. So this is how we made, this is the tapestry mesh. So that was moulded onto the prototype, just with steaming it on. Then Ali's mum, Ali that you saw in the directive before, it was a family affair. Her mum was on the sewing machine, and she was sewing them all together, and on some of the haircut wigs, she actually sewed the hair on in circles so that it could swing nicely and sit nicely. We did glue some of it as well, but it was all mainly sewn. As I said, I wanted to play with it and try it on. I didn't want to ask the girls to do something that, you know, I wouldn't have done myself, sort of thing, and that's why we got dancers, because we thought they know how to hold and they would carry the strength and everything. So this was me trying to be tall and be a little Poppet without thing. And then I saw Ali put it on, and that was the first time I felt they were born, because it came to life when she was walking around with it, and I got a little bit excited there. And so this is how he came. He brought them bald, as you saw, and then we put the wigs on and we fastened them in and then cut and styled them. So with these ones, so with Westwood and with Geisha on the top, this is how these ones were made. So they were slightly longer because we had to elongate down the back. Then with the little haircuts and with Emo, the long one, thanks darling, it was a shorter one. So this is where they were laughing at me because everything I used was huge. I used material scissors and big combs, and they were going, why? Why don't you just use normal? And that's because it's a big surface. It's got to be big. So hence that. And she was a client, she had a gown on, and it was in the salon, and I was talking to her in the mirror and everything. I tell you, I lost it for 3 months. 3 months it took us to make these. We were lucky enough, because we got the prototype, to start on the hair before we got the dolly heads, because we only got the dolly heads a couple of weeks before Expo, so we had a deadline. So this is how they originated, the fiberglass and everything. This is Bev on the machine, because I'm not good on the machine, so she was on the machine. But this is the dolly, for anyone that doesn't know a Blythe doll. This is one of my obsessed dollies. I love them. My brother is so scared of them. I used to have a dolly when I was a kid that used to stare at you. You know when you walk around the room and it follows you with his eyes? Well, he would never come in my room if that doll was there because he was so scared. He would like chuck something on it and wouldn't come in my room. So that's the way I got my own back with him. And so when I started sending pictures home to say, look what we're doing, all excited and everything, he said, please don't send me any more, I'm scared. You can't do that. He goes, and he said, you know what? They're going to come alive. Because I was taking them home, because I was totally obsessed. It took over my world for 3 months. Taking them home, sewing the hair, you know, pulling it through. 24/7, I had these dolls in between clients, pull a bit more hair through. We had everyone in the salon getting involved. But my brother said, you know what? They're going to come alive. You're taking them home, they're going to come alive, and they're going to kill you at night, you know, like Chucky. That's what it's going to. I said, how can they? They haven't got arms, they haven't got legs. He said, they're going to headbutt you. They didn't, so that was good. But well, I'll just go through it. The expo show I will go through with you after. There's a tiny little snippet we've got to share with you, because we did do real people as well. We didn't just do dollies. But I'm just going to go through with you just briefly. My little two Poppets can come, my little Emo and my little Ghetto. You all right there, sweetheart? You can come through, that's it. I'll stand up here because I'm a stump and I can reach. Thanks, darling. Can I have that little brush? This is my Brendan, for anyone that doesn't know. Bren works with us in the salon. He's gorgeous. He's been helping me today because we had to ship them up in trucks, in boxes, and I titivated them before they went in the boxes, but then God knows, we put Fragile all over the box, but I don't know what they think about Fragile. So this is 15 afro wigs cut and sewn. So I would go home at night and put it on my lap and just sew, and just sew. And then when we got, that was before we got the head, so when we got the head, we were able then to put it on the mesh. We sewed it onto the mesh, and then we added more visually to build it up. And it's literally just that, you know, those wigs that you get. But she's got attitude, our Ghetto. That's what we're saying about that. They had to have personalities. And then this is I called it the goth, but then they were going, Jane, get with the program. They're emos now. I said, isn't that a fish? They said, no, that's an emo. So, but this was, this is about, I think, about 18 or 20 wefts of fake hair. And we built it up. Now you can stay turned round, Poppet, round the back. So I'll just show you to elongate the length. And I do this on real hair too, on real models, if you want to get the length. And you know when you sort of elongate it, but it still looks see-through. So we used a big panel of silk, if you can see. Big panel of silk, and then you can miss a great big bit, because it costs a fortune, so you don't really want to fill it up. And it just makes it look quite solid. And then you can cheat. And then at the sides, we sort of run out a little bit, swing round, pop it to the front. At the sides here, we just, see, I keep going all sorry when I pull it, because I think it's their hair. It's elastic, so you can see how that's like just elastic, and then you just sew it on or glue it on each section down. And it just gives it like a layer effect. And then we just went berserk with the old reflection spray just to give it that really piecey look. Now on the top, that's just two blonde yucky wigs cut up and just dressed over the top. So there's my thank you, darlings. You can go and have your little perch, my little Poppets. Sorry, I'm losing my mic. You all right, darling? I'll sit you back down. Oh no, you're going to stand. I'll stand you at the back. Here you go. Back up, back up. That's it. And my little corporate Poppet as well. So this is corporate and this is Westwood. Now Westwood gives me trouble all the time. Westwood's just terrible. She's got so much attitude, it's not funny. So this is one of the ones that we use the longer mesh, and this one was pulled through with crochet hooks. And then so you have this mass of hair, and again, take it home, and people in the salon were doing it, and clients were going, oh my God, what are you doing? What are those massive heads? And then we had to, because it's acrylic hair, we rolled it around and we used the steamer and steam it, and then you've got to let it set. It takes it, can I tell you? And then we dressed it. So that's my little Viv. And I'll just show you round. Can I spin you, honey? I'll show you the underneath if it'll pop up through here. Can you see the mesh? And that's the brace that they're wearing. Can you see that under there, everybody? At the back. So that's the brace, and that's, so every head has a hole in it, because obviously we've got to get their heads in it. So that's the brace, and that's the mesh that's there. Well, I've messed you up now, but you like it, Bessie, don't you? And then with corporate, she was one that was sewn on. She's got attitude as well, this one. She likes to be a bit of a rebel. And because this was shorter hair, I'm just going to spin you, honey bunch. We had to get like a little flap of skin made. She's got really high neck, fat neck. So we had to have a little flap made because she was a bit see-through. So that's our little corporate. I'm just going to give her a little brush because she's got a little bit tussle. She gets a little bit excited when she comes out, don't you, darling? And Govinda, I said, oh my God, she's corporate, we've got to have glasses. So bless him, he made glasses for her and everything. She's cheeky. So thank you, my darlings. And that was sewn on. So that was Bev on the machine, sewing round, sewing round. Mind that plug. Can you see that? They can only see out of the nostrils and down. So that's why we had dancers, so to get their bearings. And then I'll have my little geisha. And my Maud. So this is Geisha and Maud. They're cheeky too, although Geisha's a bit demure, but she does play up sometimes. So this is our little cheeky little Maud. So again, with this one, she was sewn on the sewing machine round and round and round. We just found if we sewed in circles, it just swung better. If we were doing it in lines, it just hung. So this way, it sort of swings and hangs. I think here we've also got a little fat neck back flap at the back. Geisha is, sorry, you're not really fat, didn't mean it. Geisha, oh, she's got the ump now. Geisha is the same as Westwood, where it's the longer scalp. And that was also pulled through, pulled through, pulled through. Now there's stories about this one. Can I turn you around, Angel? But this has also got what we called quilts. You know the padding of continental quilts? That's what we made for the padding. So we had to make giant sausages, basically, and then wrap the hair around after it had been in the pulled through the mesh, and then dressed up. This one, I totally lost the plot when we were finishing her off. I said, that's it. I can't make it go. Oh my God, I was going mad. It's been a really long time. This was our last one we were dressing. So Ali went, go and have some lunch, eat, because I never ate, so I couldn't eat. I had to get it done. I had to get it done. So bless her, Ali said, just go away, just go and have some lunch, and you'll be fine. And came back, ta-da! She'd sat there and tossed it all up, and we went, oh yeah. And we made the little padding on the top, just, you know, hide the back, and then pretty it up with some hair ornaments. She's our little geisha. You can drop round too. All right, darlings, thank you very much.
Fantastic.
These girls have been amazing. 2 of these girls were actually in the show at Expo. These 2 naughty ones, actually, at the end. Do you want to mind that plug?
So Jayne, what's the future for the Poppets?
Ooh. Future for the Poppets. Well, they're going on the road. They're going to New Zealand at the end of September, because we're going to do a small expert tour there. I'll get out the way so you don't want me in the picture. Take a picture of our Poppets. Also, they are going to be in a few stores for the next 3 weeks until they go overseas. They've got to go by plane this time, God help me. But they are in, Grandma Takes a Trip is having 2 of them, which is a store in Sydney on Crown Street, who, they're the clothes that they're wearing. It's like a recycled, she does really fantastic recycled clothes. So it was great to get the personalities, and that was the girl that styled, Emily McGregor, styled the whole show at Expo, and she went, when I told her all the personalities of the girls, she went in and found exactly, she just brought them to life, she really did. And I think you agree when the outfits are on, because you see the doll head sitting there and you don't really get it, and then when they put them on and they start walking, it comes to life. But when they wear their outfits, it really does sum it up. So they're going to be in Grandma Takes a Trip, and I think that's Ghetto and Geisha. Then Marnie Skillings, they're cheeky. Marnie Skillings is taking 3 for her this new season's collection, which is she's just about to launch in her store in Willara in Sydney. And she's taking all the haircuts, so she's taking all the naughty ones actually. So corporate, emo and mod she's taking and putting her collection on. And we're having cheeky Viv at our Surrey Hills salon, so she'll be there for a little while.
Fab.
And we're hoping to do a shoot with them as well. And who knows where they'll pop up. You might see them. We've had offers for Mardi Gras, parties, openings. Yeah, what do you reckon? I reckon they'll be cool on a float, don't you reckon?